If you feel positive, raise your hand. I feel very positive now. You can put your hands down. Now suppose you're feeling negative and your mood is spoiled. What would you do? For some of us, it would be going out to relax, and for some of us, it would be listening to music. But for many of us, for some reason, gazing at nature calms us to a great extent. As we get more distant from nature, we are beginning to realize our dependence on it. We human beings are always in search of answers for the questions that our challenging lives give us. Mother Nature is the wisest and the noblest teacher. And you'd be very surprised to know that insects, the teeny tiny creatures of nature, would be of great help to you in your search for the answers. So while you were gazing at nature, have you ever wondered what these fascinating critters teach you? Honestly, I didn't wonder as well. So when I got this idea, I did some research online, and I got some information codes for this talk. When I completed my preparation and when I was over with all my homework, I had this question to me. Why didn't I ever look at insects from this perspective? And I'm sure that you'll be asking the same question at the end of my talk. Now, let's start with ants, which we know too well and observe very often. We know ants as diligent and hardworking individuals. They teach us the can-do attitude. They're always self-motivated. They never give excuses. They proactively accept the challenges that are put ahead of them. They require no leader to supervise them, to make them do their work or force them to work together. They teach us the necessity to plan and be prepared for what lies ahead. They also plan seasons of work and rest so that they don't get exhausted. They store food during times of plenty so that they'll have enough food during times of scarcity. So that they are the literal definition of smart workers who work hard. The 3 lessons to be remembered are: be self-motivated, never give excuses, and prepare a plan for the future in a way you don't overdo yourself and get exhausted. Moving on, let's go with bees, which are energetic and bustling insects. Bees are born engineers and are one of the most intelligent creatures in the world. The female bees, called the worker bees, do not hesitate to share information about the best plants by performing 2 types of dances and to give precise directions. If the range of the food source is within 15 meters, then they will perform the round dance. If the range of the food source is more than 15 meters, then they'll perform the wagtail dance. They teach us the importance and benefits of thinking win-win. Let me tell you an interesting fact about bees. Bees switch jobs continuously throughout their life so that their hive is run efficiently. Before they become searchers, they'll work as nursemaids, caretakers, they'll work as cleaners and repairers. As they grow older, they will start collecting nectar, pollen, and water. Finally, they'll work with the house bees to ensure that these collected items are stored and utilized properly. Bees, through effective distribution of work and intricate communication, through hard work, ensure that their colony flourishes. Bees tell us that a happy community can only be achieved through 3 C's: compassion, cooperation, and communication. The lesson to be learned is that these 3 things will be your only guide to the way of creating a happy community. If we see, as individuals, if we inculcate these lessons within ourselves, we'll be able to figure it out that creating a colony, creating a happy community is just as easy as having a happy colony when we see around where the bees live. Next is the insect that motivates us through the code, endure the pain, and enjoy the gain. It is caterpillar. Caterpillars will have to go through many difficult phases in their life to become a butterfly. When the caterpillar does all the hard work, we only adore the butterfly. The same thing happens in our lives. No one really cares about our hard work, but they're awed by its result. The result is always in the spotlight, instead of the footprints which had stepped over hardships and led to that result. But the result is always beautiful, and it will always create a fluttering effect in your heart, like a butterfly, and give you pure happiness and satisfaction. There's another beautiful message that you could get from a caterpillar. They'll have to shed their skin before they become a butterfly. This tells us that only when we let go of the negative energy around us, we'll be able to move on to the next transitional phase in our life. The caterpillar then turns into a butterfly, which is mesmerizing to look at. In terms of the survival of the fittest, the female swallow-tailed butterflies are masters of disguise. They've evolved a clever way of mimicking the wings' colors, patterns, and shapes of their poisonous cousins. This helps them to keep the predators away. The Kalima butterfly looks just like a dry leaf when it closes its wings. This helps them to camouflage to their surroundings. The viceroy butterfly, which is not poisonous, mimics the monarch butterfly, which is poisonous, and gives a false warning to its predators. This adaptability of butterflies to the surroundings tells us the code. The art of life is a constant readjustment to our surroundings. That is, sometimes we'll have to change ourselves according to the situation in order to survive. But this lesson is quite tricky, you see. It only goes with certain situations in your life. Let me give you an example. Now imagine that you're a new entrepreneur and you'll have to promote your products. But you do not look confident. You do not look bold. You do not look fearless. And you've never climbed up a stage before to promote your products. What would you do? The answer is very simple. You'll have to change yourself. You'll have to change yourself into a bold, fearless, confident-looking person and get onto the stage and prove them that you're the best. You can use this lesson in certain situations like that to develop yourself. Next is the insect, which is quite unique. In the lives of this insect, we can see paternal parental care. It is giant water bugs. It is the male bugs who will have to carry the eggs on their backs and ensure that the eggs are well oxygenated by coming out of the water source often. They tell us that sharing work, taking up work and responsibility is essential in a home or at an office for an effective result and a happy family. The true link that connects us to a family is not just of blood, but also the support that we see and find and get from each other. Moving on is the insect, which is considered by us as very irritating. When you go on an evening stroll or a night walk, you could hear some pretty irritating insects the noises of irritating insects coming from your surroundings, isn't it? It is the noise of a cicada. We consider cicadas to be really irritating and noisy. But the life cycle of a cicada includes a phase that we human beings can never endure. Some species of the cicadas will have to stay underground for 17 years in solitary. Yes, you heard me right, 17 years. During the pandemic, we had the experience of getting isolated from our family and friends. We got too restless, tried out new things. We were very desperate to get out of home and go back to a pre-pandemic routine. So from that experience, what do you think is required for a cicada to stay underground for 17 years in solitary? It's patience, of course. Cicadas give us a grounding in patience. When they come out of the ground after 17 years, they'll have to climb high up on the tree and come out of the outer protective shell to fly and behold this beautiful world. Patience is bitter, but its result is sweet. If you had noticed something, there's another message that a cicada is trying to communicate to us. It is that when they come out from the ground, they'll have to climb high up on the tree and come out of their outer protective shell to fly. Not many of us like changes, and we like to stay in our comfort zones. If you see the species that have survived through millions or thousands of years on Earth, it is those species who are able to adapt to the changes that their surroundings has gone through. It is just as Charles Darwin said, it is not the strongest of the species nor the most intelligent, but it is the one most adaptable to change that survives. So learn to embrace changes and fly like a cicada. Nature can only teach us what we are open to learning. Every one of us has a different way of looking at things. For example, if you keep an ornament, let's say an ornament, in front of 10 people and ask them, what do they think about it? What's their opinion about it? The 10 answers wouldn't be the same. It would be different. Each one of us has a unique perspective. Nevertheless, Mother Nature gives us the perfect answers. Mother Nature gives us the perfect answers according to our expectations and according to our answers. Nature's creations give us pretty valuable lessons. Not everyone knows these lessons. All that we have to do is sharpen our mind continuously, and then we'll be able to figure it out that we're being more productive. Insects, which are nature's creations, have taught us some pretty valuable and precious lessons today. They're deemed by us as beautiful, energetic, bustling, ugly, irritating, noisy, and more. Nevertheless, their capability to overcome challenges is overwhelming. We human beings are always unique, and we have unique capabilities just like these insects. We are unique no matter who we are. I would like to conclude by saying that everyone has a unique capability and potential at doing different things. So never judge anyone based on their appearances, a mistake that we had already done by judging insects as just tiny creatures. Every moment you spend with nature is an incredible opportunity to solve those most difficult puzzles and riddles in your challenging lives. Mother Nature has answers to all your questions. Just go and ask. Thank you.